Hi friends, and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Julia Masalska. I am joined today by the wonderful Meche Bazan. Meche, say hi.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
Yay! So this is an editorial design stream, so Meche is going to be working on some wonderful editorial work. But first of all, welcome everybody who is joining us in the chat. Come say hi. I see Wudoval, Steve is here, Vandam, Stone, Lindsay, Ashraful, awesome, people from all over the world. This is so cool to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining. So guys, we're going to be working on some editorial work today. And let's talk about Meche. Let's talk about her, things that she can do, and about her experience a little bit. And I would like also to show you her profiles on the social media. So let me quickly switch to my screen so that we can all take a look at our daily creative challenges today and at Meche's social media. I'm really, really excited to have you here, Meche. Thank you so much. So if you guys go onto behance.net/challenge/illustrator, you will be able to participate in the daily creative challenges. In about 90 minutes, we're going to be reviewing those. So it's totally worth to submit your challenge of today or of yesterday. And, just take a look at the page, and yeah, can't wait to look through those a little bit later. And so today's guest, Meche Bazan, this is her social media profile on Instagram. It's Meche Baz. And as you can see, she's a very talented illustrator and graphic designer, currently, I believe, working for Stripe. Is that correct, Meche?
Yes, I do work at Stripe. I am in the Increment magazine team. So what we do is design a magazine. It's a quarterly magazine focused on developers. So yes.
Super cool. Yeah, make sure to check out her profile, and you can also check her out on Behance. Her profile is linked above the chat in the info tab, so you can go there and just click on her profile. Make sure to check her work out. It's really, really amazing, colorful work. And so later on, guys, when you are submitting the Daily Creative Challenge, make sure to submit it into the challenge hashtag in our Discord channel. The link to that you will find in the challenge tab, also located above the chat. So if you click the challenge button, you will be able to find all the information necessary. And now let's jump to Meche's screen, and let's let her talk about herself. I'm really excited to see what she's going to come up with today. So Meche, tell us more about yourself and what we're going to be working on today and tomorrow.
Okay, so I am a graphic designer, as mentioned before. I work at Stripe, which is a payments company here in San Francisco, and like we're very distributed right now. I am in the Increment magazine team. So what we do is design a magazine quarterly. It's a printed and digital magazine, and what we do is create content for like companies, how to improve their like good practices and stuff. So yes, it's a lot of interesting information, and I am always learning new stuff. So, and it's also interesting to work with collaborators for the magazine. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so today I was thinking to do something like on the line of that, but maybe not that much. We'll see. So the plan for today is we are gonna design a brochure for a food market. Yeah, I was thinking the other day like what I would want to do when everything, these crazy times are over, and probably would be like go to a market, like food market, and eat everything. So, and I think also that topic, it could be really what you want it to be, and I like passion project like that, so that you don't have any rules. So something fun that can involve some layout design and some really basic illustrations. So yes, that's what we're gonna do today.
Awesome. Let's get started. And I see there are a couple people joining us in the chat. Sam is here. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. She's saying, welcome back, Meche and Julia. Tuncha's here, and Christy has joined. General Kenobi is here, and Kyle, John, Steve, Jacob. Very nice to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Christy is here from Maryland. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, Meche, let's jump into your Illustrator. I mean, we're already on it, waiting for you to.
Sorry, we're already on it. Yes, sorry for that.
No worries.
I forget that we are already on my my screen. So let's open what? No, let's open.
Today we're going to be starting in InDesign and Illustrator, right?
Yes, but we're gonna, before getting into InDesign, we're gonna jump into Illustrator.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So yes.
Ooh, that's awesome. Cool. I already see some cool color palettes here.
Yeah, this is for, sorry for the panels here, but yeah.
No worries, you're good.
Okay. So I think whenever you start a project, of course, it's kind of hard to narrow your possibilities. So my first approach to an empty blank page would be to make a mood board. It doesn't have to be like on point, but it's just like gathering all these references that you like. And I mostly like gathering references when I really don't know what I'm going to do or anything. I like it to be more wide. So it could be, I have here some editorial design, layout inspiration, and then I have some posters, I have some art, I have some like a frame of a movie and some pretty cool architecture. So yeah, I think it's great to keep it open, because sometimes when you are a little bit stuck, it's nice to go back to what you first thought the project could be, and maybe you can have like a little beautiful surprise that will trigger some ideas. So it's good to have it. And also it gives you like a sense of color palette. So you don't start plain blank page. You have at least something, and that's the most important thing. Just put something.
Start somewhere, right?
Somewhere, just like put them circled in the middle of the page. That is just losing the fear of a blank page. So yeah, here I have a quite variety of things. I try not to see a lot of inspiration from the actual thing I'm doing, because that kind of condition your approach. So no,
yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes when I'm designing for, let's say, for something that has to do with cosmetics, I'm looking at other fields, at other products that people might be using that kind of have similar, style directions, but they're not yet have been applied to the exact product that I have been working on. So I think you're totally right. It's such a good approach to kind of not get inspiration from the direct, product that that you're going to be designing for.
Yeah, you can always go back to that, but I guess there's so much inspiration out there. And of course, if you are with a tight deadline, it's probably smarter to go and look for those. But if you have time and it's a passion project, then you are good to go. So, sorry.
Okay. So good.
I don't want to cough in like the microphone.
So you have 2 weeks of quarantine now.
Oh my god!
I'm just kidding.
So I tried to put something. There was something I did really fast, just because I didn't want to spend a lot of time like trying things. But I love smiley faces, and I like hearts and shapes and like basic colors. Yeah. So this is what we're going to use today. This could probably, of course, change. But this is our thing. So this is the logo for the market. It's Happy Food Market. I'm very good at
Happy Food
just
Market.
For the record.
Okay, should we suggest people to throw in suggestions for a name? Or
Yes,
do you want to
please.
go with? Okay, guys. So drop into the chat suggestions for the Happy Food Market. Do you want it to be called Happy Food Market, or maybe it could be like a name and then Happy Food Market or something like that? What do you
Oh,
think?
I like that. Yes, the last year when I was doing the Adobe Live, they came up with a pretty good name. So I kind of want to rely on that again. So if you can come
Yeah,
up with
guys.
something cool, yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of already like this HFM. It's really catchy.
Yeah, it's either if it's not for a for a market, a food market, it's like a for a brewery for sure. So yes, we can wait on the name because that's literally can change last second. So here on the typefaces, I this one is pretty unlegible, but I think it has like so much personality that I just wanted to have it there. So this is called, I don't think I can pronounce it.
Ekman Pick or something like
Ekman
that.
Pick. Ah, yes. You're amazing.
Ekman. That's how I would pronounce it.
I
If you
mean,
guys know how to pronounce this, let us know because I have no idea, but that's how I would probably say it. Yeah.
Happy Food Market sounds fun. They say, okay, fine, let's go with that. Then we have Big Display, which is a little bit more refined. Then we have both Sons, which I really like, and this one for text. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it, but we'll see. So the most important thing after probably you narrow your typefaces that could also change, and you have the mood board. One of the things I really like to do is actually make like a content map, or I don't know how you call it, but it's literally just a view of what the project could look like.
I think in UX design you will call it like a user flow.
Exactly, yeah. So a user flow,
A flow of information.
A flow of information, exactly. And this doesn't have to be like super high fidelity, but it's just for you to have like a skeleton. I did it. It's easier for me to do it on paper, but we can do it here because I might change my mind on what I have decided in the beginning. So this is literally, I think, one of the safest approaches to do it. So we can put here cover. If the type is too small, I can also make it bigger. Okay, so of course we will have the cover, and then we will have the first page. And I assume that the first page will have like a little intro or something like that explains. So the purpose of this brochure will be when you enter to the festival, they will give you this little brochure that will have the schedule and some feature chefs or what is on display in, or like the trendy fruit in there. So we will probably have here like a little description, and depending on how illustrated the cover is, then we can have a little illustration here, or maybe not, or illustration plus sketch. If I write wrong or my grammar is bad, please let me know.
I think we all know what you mean. But is this like the regular procedure that you do when you work for the Increment magazine? Do you kind of give them this flow, and then you kind of double check if that's what they were thinking of, and then you kind of start designing, right?
Yes. This is my approach. It's because when we are working in the magazine, we work with an editor, so she needs to know how many pages we have, like if the illustrations we source are well distributed, or maybe it's just a matter of like literally seeing how the flow of the articles, like if they make sense, if they're one next to each other. So this might be like a easier way to scan the whole magazine without actually like going through a 96 PDF page PDF. Yeah. So yeah, I think it doesn't have to, this is like something not very high fidelity. So it's something like I can change, but I think it's a nice first approach to the thing.
Yeah. Again, going back to UX design, this could be something like a wireframe. I think that's exactly what you do. You kind of plan the content and then you find, let's say, the images that you want to place in, the text that you want to place in. And then let's say you have copywriters, you give them different responsibility, right? So you are going to make this article on this and this chef on page number 3, and you have this and this much space, right? So that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like literally it's a wireframe, right? Like let's call it a editorial wireframe.
Editorial wireframe, yeah, sure, yeah. That's so
So
interesting.
yeah, so as every wireframe, I think here I'm planning to probably have, because this is going to be very type focused. So maybe after a type focus spread, we can do a little illustration. So I'm planning here to have, for instance, wait, I cannot grab this. Okay, so let's
I
see.
always lock everything down that can help.
No, yeah, it's
just lock it down.
Just lock everything now. Yes, literally, I will do that. So probably I'm thinking maybe we can have some like fruits or something more tropical, and then here we can have a description of like smoothie recipe, which if someone has like a smoothie recipe, it will be great, because I don't have one, so I will probably be Laura Mipsum.
We'll find something on the internet. Google knows a lot of recipes.
Google knows everything. So fruits, and maybe we can have here another illustration just to keep it consistent, because it's nice to have like it's nice to break the rules a little bit, but it's also nice to keep it consistent just for the sake of like being a coherent piece. So yeah, let's grab, I should have, there you go. So here probably we're gonna have I don't know, maybe a wine section, like drinks and grapes sections, and here we can have what wines are on display. Wines. I have a wine list. Wine
okay,
list.
good.
Yeah, I have that. And then I was thinking probably here we can go crazy. No, just kidding. But this probably can be, why not, like a poster like. Poster like spread. And then what else? Here we can have more of these ones that are like explanatory. So this one could be ramen, because I love ramen.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I have not met one person who doesn't like ramen.
Ramen section. And probably here we can have, ramen types, which I don't have, ramen types. Or we can have an interview. Let's have an interview, that would be cool. And here we can have like a goodbye section, or like a directory of things. So directory, like where to find, or like useful things. Directory. And then we can find here like a little until next year or something like that. I mean, it can be as big as you want, but I'm gonna keep it small because
Yeah.
if not, it's gonna
It's
be.
good to kind of see the bigger picture of a magazine, right? So there's like an introductory section, and then you will have all these different like food, wine, and ramen and so on sections. And then in the end, you're kind of like, okay, bye, see you next time. So there is this kind of interesting, big picture in that, which I think you did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. So let's start with this skeleton and see how far we can go, but it will literally be illustrating and creating layouts. So let's get our hands on that. Yes, you can see
Cool.
I have a picture of ramen ready.
Yay! That's perfect. Yeah, we have a couple of people joining here. Lamont is here, and Bruno, and General Kenobi's here, Biola, Santa G. A lot of people, and Carol is here too. And we have a question. So once you're kind of, I already see the answer to it. So there was a question if you use a grid for the layout, and obviously you do, right?
Yes, I do. Just gonna put all of this here. There you go. I do use grid because I'm gonna. So it's kind of weird if you don't use a grid for. There you go. If you don't use a grid for layout design, because it of course could be super organic and fluid, where you don't use any grids, but to me it's nice when you see a design you can see like why the decisions were made, or why this text is here and not there. And also it helps legibility, which is the main purpose of this brochure, is to be nice and attractive and appealing, but also is to actually have useful information. And I think grids helps you to how do you say organize that information. So let's rely on grids, and I will always recommend using grids.
Yeah.
So now, yes, no, you can go.
Okay, so Harsha has another question. While creating a wireframe, as we called it, do you also consider the focal point grid? I mean, like golden ratio grid.
I don't, but I always like if you want to, yes, I will be more less mathematic with this design, just because I think it's cool to just let it go for a while and do something without thinking that much. More if it's a passion project, it's nice to have rules, but if the rules are gonna limit you a lot, then maybe it's just nice to, try and have fun, and then you can adjust those to be super mathematical, accurate. But for this,
so have fun in the beginning and do the organizing part later on.
yeah, I'm just organizing my panels here because they were all over the place. Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's nice. It's like a tidy house, a tidy mind.
Yeah.
So the same here.
It's like we came into your place, and then now you started moving the furniture like to make it comfortable for everybody, huh?
Exactly. So I'm gonna add here the Meche one just to have Meche. This typeface is so fun.
Yeah, I love it. It was the first typeface I actually noticed, where I was like, wow, this is cool. And did you get it from fonts.adobe.com, or where'd you get it from?
This is from a type foundry that is called Now Type Foundry, or Future Fonts. It's really cool, and they have pretty cool deals sometimes, so keep an eye on those.
Okay.
This format, so the image, the size of the page is 7 by 11 inches. It's pretty standard, and it's not very big, so we are gonna have 6 columns. As you can see, it's nice to have more columns, because it will allow you, like, for instance, playing with the width of the text box. And it's cool just if you have a big publication and if you don't want it to be super repetitive, you can also rely on the grid to play a little bit with the layout. So I might be using most all of this. We will see, but I will have this on the back of my file. So whenever I feel stuck, I can rely on this. So for the cover, well, let's start with the cover. So I'm gonna do it in Illustrator.
So are you going to create a link, like a linked file to that?
Yes.
Or
we're gonna start placing the files in there, because at the end of the project, when we want to create a package, we will need all the files for the print press, but that is another thing we can touch base later.
Sounds good. And David is saying love from Argentina.
Hey, gracias. Okay, so it's
and Viola is saying reminds me of Austin Powers or the 60s. Interesting.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it does actually.
And Sam Taylor is here. Brochure design gang present.
Yeah. It's fun. I will invite you to create your own based on what you really want to do, and it gets fun. So let's start with let's grab our little things here. So
you have basically created a connected file, right? So whenever you make changes in this artboard, does it apply to InDesign, or is it just a separate graphic?
It's a separate graphic, but thank you. I will do what you just suggested.
No, it's one way. You don't have to do that, but I was just wondering how your like regular processes, because I know many people do that, but I wasn't sure like if that's something that you use or not.
No, it's actually good. What I do is create a new file, but I had all my things here, so I'm gonna grab all of them.
Yeah,
and there you go.
I always like working in the same file, because then you can just literally copy paste, drag and drop things.
Yeah, but it's easier and it's way more tidy to do it this way. So let's encourage to do good practices here. So yes, let's start a new file, and let's create the cover of the festival, which we ended up being happy.
So many people say that they like Happy Festival. Somebody also said Yummy Smiles, Girlsy Fun, Yummy Food Market. Then Eric was suggesting Happening Food Market. And Petra was saying Happy Meal Festival. Happy Meal reminds me kind of McDonald's.
Yeah, but I like the first one we watched, Yummy.
Yummy Food Market. Yeah. And there was also Yummy Smiles.
Yummy Smiles Market? Yes, I like that. Yes.
And Reverb is also saying Joy Jams. And Reverb was also suggesting Happylicious. But otherwise, many people also agreed with Happy Food Market because they thought that it's already a great name.
Aww.
So what do you think, Meche?
I like Yummy Smiles, but
Yummy Smiles? Okay, cool.
Yummy. Okay, so this is gonna be our new logo. So let's actually change it so it makes like more sense. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yummy. Happy stomach, happy person. No, how say? No, it was like a full stomach, happy person, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very accurate. So let's use that one. This one is a little bit.
I love that smiley. How you kind of put the eyes a little bit lower. It makes it so unique. I really like it.
It's like a dorky face, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so fun.
So awesome. Let's if you press Control key in Mac, you can scale and strokes and effects, and I think for this purpose it's good, so let's do that. We can place it here.
So the stroke will basically remain proportional, right, to the... Okay, I see. How did you... What was the shortcut for that?
It's Command key, and I assume that in Windows it's different.
Okay.
There you go. So it's cool. You can have different things. You can scale, stroke, and effects. You can be scales corners is also really great. So keep an eye if stuff are being modified in a way you don't like to. You might you might need to actually check this and see if your presets are okay. Okay, so let's start. It's Yummy Smiles. Yummy is like this, no? It's Y, U, and then I. Y, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fun. Look how
cool.
Weird.
I love it.
Yeah, no, smiles.
Oh my god, I love this typeface.
It is so weird. I think it's the first time that I actually work with something so unlegible and so amazing.
Oh, now that I'm reading it, I think it's Ekman Psych. Ekman Psych. Psych like a psycho.
Oh, is this? I think
so.
Wow, Ekman Psych.
I think
what is the like the origin of like what they got inspired to get it to. Well, yeah. I will do my research.
Yeah, usually I can look it up actually, since I'm your assistant today.
I thank you.
I'm going to do the assistant work. So let's take a look. Ekman Psych. Yeah, usually typefaces have some kind of history, right? And some kind of background. So usually they get inspired by something and then okay. Oh, okay. So it was designed as a psychedelic interpretation of Ekman Schrift, a typeface from 1900s that was popular with the hippie aesthetic of the 60s and 70s.
Oh.
So that's why. Yeah. It's called Ekman Schrift, and then they created the psychedelic interpretation of it. And that's why it's called Ekman Psych.
Oh, interesting. That's amazing.
Super cool to kind of know the background. Usually, like every single typeface has, the background.
Yes, that's pretty cool. Thanks for the insight. It's actually really interesting to.
It's really interesting, yeah.
Choose stuff like where they actually came from. It's pretty. It's good to know. So I'm gonna throw some guides here so everything is somehow in place.
Yeah, super cool. Santa G saying, I can see this font in metal flake on the side of a shady customized 70s van. Interesting.
Definitely. Oh, yes. Well, next time I want to see people using this typeface for like weird stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of okay.
And so those typefaces you can really well combine with a sans serif, right? With a nice modern sans serif.
Yes, exactly. So I am gonna use this one. It's somehow display is not like super great to read long text, but I think for now, since the cover
it will be good.
It will be good. So I'm just gonna add some little things here because I assume that even though we have the time and the date, it's nice to also have it here. Let's change.
You know what's funny? This font is actually available for free, guys, on fonts.adobe.com. Ekman Psych. You can totally just activate it to your applications for free if you have the subscription. So that's awesome, and it has three different weights, or not weights, but different kinds. One is small, one is medium, and one is large. So take a look at that. Maybe I can try and put the link into the into the text, into the chat box, so you guys can download it. Or maybe if somebody can find it here, just share the link with us. That'll be cool. Voodooval, if you're still here. Ekman Psych.
Save us.
Ekman Psych. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So
and the bottom one that you're using is called Volve, right?
Yes, both. It also has a lot of different things, variables. That's how I say. So we're gonna create a heart. The heart that I had, I didn't like it that much, so we're gonna create a new one because the one I did.
It's always a thing to know how everybody's creating hearts because there are so many ways to create hearts. So what's your way?
So my way is creating a rectangle, then like curving
round
these two. Flip it 45 degrees. Create like another one on top of it, and then rotate it. Not rotating, not reflecting. That way, and then well, you can almost see it, but now you need to grab the pathfinder. Where is my pathfinder?
Yeah, I remember you're the one who was always searching things in the help. I remember from last time you always type in, and it's a really cool way because I mean that's where you can literally find anything, right? If you type something in that you're looking for in help.
Yeah, I use the help, like I use the help so much, but it's so much here. Pathfinder, there you go. So if you grab Pathfinder and you use, for instance, the
awesome. Thanks so much, Voodooval, for sharing the link. Guys, check it out. Experiment while you're watching this. Open your own file and get some inspiration. Do some cool stuff meanwhile.
And there's the hearts.
Alberto is saying, I miss festivals.
Oh, I miss them too, more if they involve food.
I would say this is a really, really perfect looking heart.
Oh, thank you.
It's really cute.
Okay, so I think we should bump up a little bit this color. It's mellow thing. Yummy. So let's start.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I love it.
So let's do probably this one. I like this one being like a sticker. It's also from here you can also grab like stuff and make merchandise, which is and we're gonna even if you let's close it. Yay.
That's super cool.
Yeah. You can also, so these are the three objects of a festival, if you want to call it so. But we can add more, and for instance, I was thinking we can. I am always grab the stars tool, and then you make a star, and then with the up arrow you can add more.
That's such a cool tip. I had no idea. So you're just making a star, and while holding and dragging, you click the up button, and then it gives. Oh my god, that's so awesome!
You can add more, or you can even make a triangle.
See, Meche, this is the reason why I was looking forward to your stream so much, because I always take away some really cool things. Like people know here that I started working a lot with blending, like blending tools and the blend tool. And all thanks to you, because you always kind of give us some kind of really, really cool tips and tricks. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Let's see. Let's do another shape because shapes are cool. Let's do a polygon. Here too, you can add more to the polygon.
That's awesome.
Let's do it a green. I wonder why I have.
Oh my god! Imagine that same thing for the ellipse tool, where it kind of adds blob texture, like blob form.
Yeah,
that would be super cool.
I have here some explorations. Oh, cool. Well, it's pretty neat to what I wanted to do. Let's grab that.
Cool. I also love your color palette.
Well, it's just if you just want, I like to keep it simple. Well, it's basically what I had, but
That's
I
awesome.
need to resize it.
I love that shape that looks like a propeller almost.
What is a propeller?
Above the T in your inspiration one.
Ah,
it's really light pink.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a glyph actually from the typeface, and it's nice to know what glyphs are out there because there are some pretty cool shapes. If the typeface is weird, they're pretty cool glyphs too. So you should probably check that out. But I'm gonna change the name of this because we
That's
came
awesome.
to a better name. So let's do that.
And you did take, is your background just white or did you grab a little like off-white color?
It's an off-white color and it's FEF2.
Awesome.
So
yeah, I think it's always cool when you kind of, grab an off-white color instead of just keeping it plain white, or grabbing an off-black color just instead of keeping it black, right?
Yeah.
It always kind of gives this really cool effect.
So let's grab a little shape here and let's change.
Cool. Oh, Ashraful is asking, how did you create that propeller? But it was a glyph, right? From the Ekman's Psych typeface.
Yes. Is it from Meche or for Yeah, where is it? I feel like it should be here, but I'm not seeing it.
Maybe the X? No, right? No, it's not the X. Or maybe the multiply sign?
Maybe, well, where is it? Well, where? But I didn't do it. I bet it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah. So you just outline basically this glyph of the typeface, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna delete these eyes. You have been so busy too. You have been doing super cool things.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I've been working a lot on my YouTube channel as well. So
yes, you're like super pro.
Thank you. It was a learning curve, I can tell you.
Like everything, actually.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah. Thanks, Wuduval, again for sharing the link. So guys, if you want to check out this Ekman Psych typeface, make sure to go onto that fonts.adobe.com link and check it out. And somewhere in the glyphs, you will find the propeller.
Propeller, yes, it's somewhere there. Okay, so if we are happy with the cover, let's save it in our where it belongs.
It's interesting. I just realized that I had the typeface on my computer already. Really? Yeah, it probably I have downloaded one day when I was like looking through the typefaces on fonts.adobe.com, and I was like probably like, oh my god, this one is really crazy and really weird. I need to have it.
Yes, it's also weird. Like when are you, like I was actually thinking like when I am actually going to use this, and then it's like, well, now's the time. Yeah, exactly. So let's open up our InDesign file, and then we're gonna place, which is Command D. We're gonna place the file, which means if, for instance, let me see. Like if for instance you, I don't know, I want to change like here, for instance, it doesn't look super good. I want to change this. So what we can do now is go to the links panel here, and we can right click and edit with, and then Adobe Illustrator, and then you come here.
It's basically like kind of like if you guys have been working in Photoshop, it's kind of like a smart layer. So it opens you that file separately, and then you can adjust the edits and so on. And once you save it, it adds back as the updated file into your InDesign. So
exactly. So let's move things around a little bit because it wasn't looking very good. And here, so you can see, looking somehow better.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I think it looks really exciting. I would totally go to this festival.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Just like having, I don't want to open Google right now. Just having like food and ramen and wine and stuff. Just yes, it's a big yes for me.
Yeah, and Christine is saying just added the Ekman Psych font to my library. I love this project and your style, Mercedes. So compliments to you.
So sweet. Thank you very much. I see a new navigation to that subface. That's cool. Awesome. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna create a new a new page here, and keep these two at the back of my file. So in our skeleton earlier, we decided that we are gonna have a little intro and then start working on the schedule. So let's start doing that. I think I'm gonna keep the same color for the background, but I'm gonna actually take it from here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a lovely color.
It's like creamy. You know, when you are reading books, it's nice that the paper is not actually white because it tires your sight. So yeah. From there, we're gonna grab my little cheat sheet with a lot of information. So this is actually food market that was happening, but it's not happening anymore. See why.
Yeah, it's always good to have some sample text so you can just, copy paste it. Instead of using lorem ipsum, I always tell my students that, instead of using lorem ipsum, just use a sample text that's familiar, that looks familiar to what actually is on it. So let's say if it's a letter, just actually write some kind of letter, to a customer or something. If you're making a mock-up, don't use lorem ipsum because you're kind of destroying the illusion that this document is actually real, So that's the reason why I kind of like using real text.
Exactly. And if you're doing this as a passion project, which is what I am actually doing, but then if you want to show it, then to make it more believable, it's good to use I mean, you can use real text, but it's nice if you, when you read it, you read like foodie and you read stuff that adds to the whole feeling of the piece. So yes, the actual thing, it was called Foodie Land, which is pretty good actually. So we make a text box and then we add all the things here. I am gonna check, for instance, if they're hyphen. There's some little tricks here. Justification.
What does that mean? Hyphenate.
Hyphenation means when, for instance, I'm gonna activate, but it's when the word is being cut because it's long and it doesn't fit the text box. So if you wanna hyphen stuff and you wanna actually have control over that, then you open the hyphenation settings. And hyphenation. Oh my God! Yes, I always. It's interesting because I never say these words. I am always reading them, so it's weird saying it out loud. And then you can see, like, for instance, hyphen limit. 0 means that there will be as many hyphens as you want, but then it's nice not to have every single word hyphenized. So we're gonna add, for instance, a hyphen image forward. That will narrow our things. You can see, does it change? At least, well, then you can tweak it, but you know, I'm not gonna hyphen anything because I don't. It's such a short text that it doesn't make sense to me to hyphenize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in general, I think it's useful when you have like a really long text and you want to kind of keep the shape of the paragraph going straight down, right? So you don't want to have those like lines and just kind of destroying your layout. But you want to kind of separate the words so they form this perfect paragraph, right?
Absolutely, yes. So we have our little introduction text, but I think we should probably welcome or something like that. Hi. And what I should probably start doing is creating styles.
Awesome. Do you usually determine kind of the header, the subheader, and the body typefaces?
Yes.
Before you start designing?
Yeah, but now that's something that I should definitely do. I am gonna do it on the go right now because I don't think I'm using this one as a title. It's just it's so much display-y looking that it's not very readable. So for the fit in the purpose of the brochure, we're not going to use it. It's more like a type as image rather than type for legible
information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
yeah, I totally agree. And there is a question also to, once again, if you could show how you linked, Tunj is asking, how did you link your object to your InDesign file?
Yeah,
so maybe
absolutely.
You can show us.
So let's do another, let's do it here. So I'm gonna, for instance, let's suppose that this beautiful rectangle is my illustration. So just save it, rectangle.
So you basically create the Illustrator file, save it, and then you place it into the into the InDesign.
And then you play Command D, and then you choose, and you just place it. Well, place it, and here it is. And if you change color of it, and you save it there, here, it won't be reflected, but you can see that in the link panel there's a conflict, so you should probably refresh, and when you refresh, it's there.
Ah, okay. Perfect.
Welcome.
So very easy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question. Yes, I am not actually looking at the chat that much, but I should probably start doing that. I have
well, we're talking about some people are talking about Tourette's ipsum. That's some kind of lorem ipsum. I sometimes use Matt's high ipsums.
What is that?
Meet the ipsums.com. Apparently it's a site where you can get lorem ipsum, but not the regular lorem ipsum, just text that you can put in. I guess. Meet the ipsums. That would be interesting to check out. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, so there is a lot of different sample text that you can just copy paste and add to your document. It's actually a really cool resource. I think that's really interesting. There is agency ipsum that says execute core competency so that as an end result, something. I think that could be interesting in case you're building a website or creating something, specific to some kind of field. One here is called coffee ipsum. So let's say you're creating some kind of packaging for coffee. You have some sample text here. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Cat ipsum is also there.
Cat ipsum?
Cat ipsum. It's called climb leg, rub face on everything, give attitude. So it's a lorem ipsum that kind of cat ipsum that's related to cats and what cats do.
I like that.
Yeah. By the way, we all know that you're a big lover of cats, and you do have a cat, right?
I do have a cat. He's actually sleeping next to me, but thanks God if he's sleeping, because if not, he would be like literally going in front of the camera and
typing on the computer like this, right?
It happens all the time. Like I am on Slack chatting with my coworkers, and then I'm like, "Oh, sorry," or I go to the bathroom. And I go to the bathroom, and then my cat is like typing, and they were like, "What did just happen?"
I'm always thinking, if I'm thinking of a cat typing, there is this meme where this cat is typing like crazy on the laptop.
Yeah, the meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes. No, it's like, to be fair, yes, they do. Like he types a lot of things, so I have to keep an eye on him. Like he brings so much joy to my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Let us know in the chat if you guys have cats or dogs or any pets. That would be interesting to know. I do have a dog, and she's actually trying to get into my office right now, but
really,
she has to wait outside because she's really big, and sometimes she throws off my lights, and that can be really dangerous.
No way. Oh yes. Yeah, that's unfortunate, actually.
Yeah.
And
guys, we only have 35 minutes or 34 minutes that I said for the daily creative challenge review. So if you guys want to submit even a work in progress, please make sure to submit it to the just check out the challenge button above the chat, and this is where you'll find all the information, the link to our Discord channel where we basically all share our work. So we're going to be reviewing that in only 33.5 minutes.
Yay! I'm very excited for that.
Me too.
I always have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love how you kind of reusing the same elements over and over, and it creates such a cohesiveness in the magazine. So really awesome.
That's what we're gonna do, because it's just, it's easy. At least you are not reinventing the wheel all the time.
Yeah.
Let's add this here.
Super cool. That's awesome. I also love the colors. So what do you usually do to kind of create a color palette?
I already have a lot of color palettes on my files, but I have to say it's super nice that there are so talented people out there that have like an amazing knowledge of color. So if you find a blue that you like, just drop it, or drop it in your library, and start doing that with all the colors that you find out there. And then it's just nice to create your own combination of colors from that. So it's not that you are actually grabbing everything from one artist, but you are just maybe repurpose the colors that they are giving you. So yeah,
that's a great idea. Do you sometimes use Adobe Capture to take out the color palette?
I have used it. It's really cool, because sometimes it's really hard to actually know what do you like of illustration that has a lot of color, and maybe you don't know if it's just like the combination of the colors or the color. So it's nice to do that, because you can see like really clean and fresh the colors.
Yeah, I love it. I did yesterday and the day before, I did a stream on how to create an inspiration library for yourself, kind of collecting colors, typefaces, maybe different shapes from your environment. So if you guys are interested in that, or interested in creating your own inspiration library, make sure to check it out. Adobe Capture, available for all the mobile devices, so you can have it on your iPad or on your phone, and on the go can take some images or extract some colors from your environment. Right now the nice and autumny colors are coming out of the trees. It's really pretty.
Yes, that's true. That's amazing,
Yeah.
actually. Yes, I watched it. I was like, what is Julie doing right now? We're gonna. Always amazing. Always amazing. So let's see. We're gonna do a very simple schedule, but so let's make a text box. And what I'm gonna do is have one text box here and then another text box here. There. It's pretty, I don't know if you can see it, but there is like text box there. So what are the dates? I forgot. 4 and 5. Let's 4 and 7. I'm gonna do it 4 and 5. So let's use.
It's gonna be in the past, the event of the past.
It's yes, it's past.
Or maybe it's postponed for 2021.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, Tunch was saying missing the festivals during the summer season. Yeah, I know, me too. I miss it, but
yeah, it's gonna happen someday, sometime.
Someday.
Sometime. Okay.
Darren is asking how to do the Adobe Capture. So all you have to do is so there's an app called Adobe Capture for the creative camera or something like that, and then you just download it, log in with your Adobe ID, and then you're able to capture photos or just capture colors from your environment, colors, shapes, materials, typefaces. What else was there? Make patterns. That's super cool. So you can basically just go ahead and take your plant or leaf or something, and then you can create a pattern out of that, and then you save all of those assets to your CC library automatically from your phone. And then whenever you open Illustrator, you will already have this inspiration library that you can just grab things from, be it typefaces, colors, anything. So I really love using that for when I'm in the store or something and I see a really nice packaging. I love to take the colors from there, extract the colors, extract the typefaces, and then use them for my resources for the future. So yeah, that's always a really cool thing to do. And Tunch is also saying coolers.co is a perfect site also. Yeah, Coolers is also really nice to kind of experiment with color. It literally randomly gives you color palettes, and then you can just, I think, click the space bar, and then it jumps into the next one and the next one. There is also an integration for Illustrator, so you can also have it as a plugin inside your Illustrator, so you don't necessarily need to use the browser. Cool.
So I'm just adding the things that I assume my physical will have the first day. I will say day 1. So I like the 4. Let's do that so it's more clear.
Cool. I also love the numbers. They look so crazy. Like they're literally so
crazy looking. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna change this typeface because it doesn't fit really well.
I recently saw a documentary on I forgot his name. Typeface designer in New York. One of the very famous agencies that create typefaces. Okay, yeah, now that you know that, I don't have no further resources for you. Yeah, it's sometimes you remember things that you did, but then you're like, okay, so what was the name? And the important information is always missing.
It will come back.
Yeah, I think it was the Abstract. Yeah, the series on Netflix called Abstract.
Yeah.
And there was this. Okay, I have to look this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are you guys up to in terms of series? Or I need recommendations. what movies to watch, what series to watch.
I started watching Devs the other day. Have you watched it?
What's it called?
Devs.
Devs. No, I haven't yet.
San Francisco, and it's like special. It's a weird one, but it's pretty cool. I will recommend it and like debate. It's just, you know, it's the one of those how you say series that you can sit with people and debate the whole time and like start talking about it and like I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Recommended.
Yeah, that's the best part about watching series, that you can discuss them with somebody else.
Actually, yes, it is. Yes, because if not, it's yeah, I don't know. It's nice to discuss.
Yeah, and I just looked it up actually, guys. So it's an abstract episode about Jonathan Hoffler and Hoffler H and Co. It's basically an agency that do a lot of type design, and yeah, just check it out. It's Hoffler and Co. Yeah.
Oh, they have. I think Chronicle. The one I will use is from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, they have amazing typefaces.
Chronicle, is it the one inspired from the watches?
You know, I don't know.
Let's see. Chronicle typeface. Hello from Pakistan. Sam is here. Good to see you. And Javier is here as well. Hi, Julia and Mercedes. Hi, Javier. Good to see you. Hi. Viola is saying, love Black Mirror. Have you ever watched Black Mirror on Netflix?
No, I haven't. I feel, I don't know. Maybe I am too scared.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is really realistic. Everything that kind of they're mentioning, I feel like those are things that are actually already happening. So yeah.
I saw one the other day and I was like, oh wow. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, creepy.
Creepy. I also watched Ex Machina the other day, and I took actually so long to watch it, but I don't remember at that moment. It looked so like unrealistic and so like wow, like mind-blowing. And I watched it actually like a couple of days ago, and it wasn't that mind-blowing because we are getting right there, like right now.
Yes, so true.
It's kind of crazy.
Step by step. Well, but I'm sure those things that they mentioned, they probably also will have, you know, good aspects about them. So there's probably inventions that don't only have the bad, you know, creepy things, but also because they always show like the horror stories connected to that. But really, maybe some of the I mean, there is always balance, right? In nature. So even if we find something, it will always have something good to do with it. And Jacob was saying The Social Dilemma. Okay, interesting. I have to check that out.
The Social Dilemma, you know, I saw it on Netflix the other day and it caught my attention, but I haven't actually started watching. Maybe tomorrow when we finish.
Yeah. Yeah, then you can hang out with your cat, watch some Netflix.
Yes. I don't know. Let's do another workshop.
Sam is saying, I watch lots of shows from Adobe Live, but it's my first joining the live chat. Yeah, Sam, this is what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, let us know. If you want to know any shortcut, anything that you see Meche doing, maybe you want to know how to do it, or maybe something where you couldn't follow, just feel free to ask. Cool. And Megan is saying, I watch all the dumb cooking shows. Oh my gosh. Like there are so many these days.
I started watching the other one, the Great British Bake. How you say? I don't know.
Baking show. Some baking show. Yeah.
Damn. People are so talented.
Yeah. It's so cool, but it always makes me hungry. Whenever I watch some cooking show, I always, have the feeling that I need to eat something.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I'm always very hungry. And now I got into the, it's just, I got into Netflix so much, and it's funny that I try to avoid those because I always watch TV when it's at night, and I am always hungry.
Yeah, and Carol is saying, teach your kids about wine tasting. What?
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's kind of sounds kind of interesting.
Wine, one. What can I say?
Or maybe teach your friends about.
Teach your kids. No, you guys, we don't wanna teach your kids to drink wine. So let's do. Thanks for calling that out. Let's see, Argentina. I have some here. Okay.
Marisol is asking, is she from Argentina? Yes, Meche is from Argentina. Meche, tell us a little bit about your background story.
So yes, I'm from Argentina. I worked in a digital agency in Buenos Aires. I also, so I studied graphic design in the University of Buenos Aires, and then I got a job in a digital agency. And while I was working there, I got this offer from Stripe. Well, like an offer to interview, and then I passed the interview, and I moved here. But I was doing more like graphic design or UI. Didn't like that much, so I'm glad that here at Stripe I got the opportunity to actually do graphic design and work on a magazine. But it's been quite a ride. I never ever in my life expected to end up here, and I got my green card 3 weeks ago. So
congratulations! That's awesome.
Thank you. It's a game changer, like in mental health for sure.
Same here. When I got mine, I was also really, really, it kind of relieves you so much and gives you a little bit more safety, because if you don't have that feeling of security that you might have to go back to where you're coming from, any minute, and you kind of already build up your life here, so it's really difficult.
Exactly. It's different. It's weird because everything is hanging on a little thin thread, but now, yes, it's so cool that I have this amazing opportunity to be here with a green card. So yay. So we got the schedule. It's a small schedule, and I should probably let's actually add a little bit of more information, because nobody will know when is this happening. So let's do PM.
Cool. Martina is saying congratulations, and Marisol is also saying awesome, Meche. I think they're talking about your green card.
Thank you.
That's really nice.
Yeah, thank you very much, you guys. I am so happy. I cried when I opened the envelope.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
And there is one more question from Don't Write. How much does the design dictate the content? Sometimes clients want or need to put too much copy, and it makes the design imbalanced. Is that more client management than design?
It depends. If the content is the important thing and it's not fitting, you should definitely reconsider the design. That happens to me a lot when I am designing the magazine. I should probably I have these ideas of layout, and then, for instance, the copy is shorter than the one I predicted it would be. So you kind of need to work on the go. If you are making up content like I am, then you can feel free to tweak it as much as you like. But when
it's easier when you're your own client.
When you're your own client, you can do whatever you want. But when someone is you work with a writer and the words are important, then you should you should take that into account. Sometimes the copy, defines or impacts the design, but as a designer, the challenge is there, is to create a nice layout that is interesting, but also is legible and is your work, and you should enhance or that the copy and your design work together, and together they work great. So it's not like a competition of words and design. It should all be together and working together.
Yeah, and another question of Don Wright. Also, common issue in the client wanting to fill all the white spaces with images. Any advice to overcome this problem?
I guess it depends on the client. I always think that having a little breathing room, it's good, because white spaces help you focus where you how to say it, it's a matter of creating balance. If you have a page that is full of text and the hierarchies or the H1, H2 are all shouting together, it's kind of hard to navigate the information. So having white spaces is a way of you saying, okay, this starts here, this is more prominent at this, and it's another resource of
I'm thinking now, if you zoom out for a second, you will be able to see that because around the schedule there is so much white space, it brings that header even more up, so that you know where to look at first, right? So you look at the title first, and the white space helps kind of create this hierarchy that Meche's talking about. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So if your client is super stuck on that, it's nice to show them variations of what it could be, and always defending your work and explaining them why you took certain decisions. It helps them to have some perspective, because I don't know, it's your word as a designer and their word as a client. Of course, they will want to have a lot of information there, but
yeah, I've also made that experience that whenever you kind of show them the, what if you use their suggestion, or what if you use your suggestion, put them side by side and analyze it, totally not depending on, opinions or anything like that. Just try to argument in terms of design decisions, right? So just find the different reasons why your design is better, or his might work or might not work. So just try to keep it rational, and try to find reasons for the decisions made. I think that can help a lot.
100 agree to that.
Cool. And Martina is also saying, because I'm from Argentina as well, so I understand that kind of excitement, because we were talking about the green card.
The green card? Yeah.
And Kyle is saying, what are your thoughts on Instagram carousels? That's an interesting question.
Interesting. I think carousels are good for showing, in which terms. I use carousels, for instance, to show process. But it hits information, so you should be a little bit aware of what you're showing in the carousel. If you're having I don't know, wide range of stuff happening, it's nice to have it all together in the same place. But if you have super important things that you want to show, there is less of a chance that people will swipe all over the way to carousels. So I think having the instant visualization of your feed is great, just to give you super fast glimpse of what your work is. So just be careful of the things that you are actually hiding behind the carousels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And also one thing that I've heard about the Instagram algorithm is that whenever they're kind of bringing out a new feature, they're trying to push those posts. So
Oh, really?
apparently there is a theory that using carousel, since it's a newer feature, will be kind of preferably shown to your feed instead to your friends' feeds instead of you just using just one image, so that they can kind of manipulate you to use that feature more.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
And also the new things that came out, kind of like the TikTok way to make videos. I forgot what that's called, but
yes, the reel, right?
Reels. So I think also right now, if you post reels more, you will be more present in your friends' feeds, because that's kind of like a new feature. But that's a theory. There are some theories about the algorithms of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram that are all constantly changing, and so it's interesting to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah, if there anyone there working for Instagram,
yeah, let us know. That would be interesting to know. Although I don't think that's information that will be necessarily published.
So
yeah, and there is also, by the way, a really cool documentary on social media on Netflix right now, on how that kind of affects you. And it's basically put together by different people who worked for Google, Facebook, and other big companies who kind of influence the online media world a lot right now. And Vuduval has a question. So sometimes maybe I've had to, wait a second, where is it? Oh, Meche and Julia, can you talk about what to do when a client edits your designs? So she's saying, I have done branding in the past where the client eventually took it into Photoshop on their own and kind of ruined it, but then still had it listed as my work. Oh my God, that's terrible. Wow. I'm so sorry, Woodable, you had to go through this. And then she's also saying, but the work was totally different after they edited it and no longer reflected my abilities. What do you do?
Wow. First of all, I'm really sorry that happened. And then it's just I am very careful, like in the contract, either it has to say like it has to say kind of we need source files and we might actually change your files. That's something that needs to be specified in the contracts, and something that if it's not, you should ask. Like if it's not in the contract, then fine, you are more than okay to not providing source files. But if it's in the contract and you sign it, yeah, I will keep an eye on what that says, and always being careful what the deeds are. I also got my work edited more when it's in editorial, like editorial work, and they like the designers, the let's say the title or something in the illustration, and they start moving things around. I have done that too with the magazine, but it's always with the full consent of the designer, and we always share. So it should not that drastically change the whole thing. It would what they do is just move things a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. But if they're drastically changing, it's so sad. I'm really sorry for that. I would say just keep an eye on the contract and make sure that it's plain in there. And reading contracts is something that I should have learned in school, for instance, and nobody teaches you that. But
that's so true. That is so true. Yeah, and I think it's also different once you're working as a freelancer or if you're working at a company as a team, because once you're working in a team, the work is being shared, along the process as well, and everybody kind of puts their sauce to it. So I think that's a little bit different, and I don't think that's is something that you should be able to avoid, because it's a team effort, and the whole purpose there is to kind of create something in a team, right, Mechi?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
No,
but once you, yeah, go
when
ahead.
it's a team thing, I guess it's fine. Like you know that a company will use those assets and probably change them. It's always
Yeah,
nice to keep an eye on those so they don't do something that is completely off brand.
yeah.
But
But it also, of course, it's a difference if a designer makes the edits or to adjust it to a layout, or if it's your client who has no idea about design and just messing around with your file. I think that's a big, big difference. And I think Vuduval, what I would do is if I would know that this happened to me in the past, I would definitely add it to my contract. So if you're working on a freelance basis, totally add it to your contract that if a design is is adjusted or edited by the client or outside of the designer's permission, then they need to they need to not they're not allowed to call it your design anymore, because not only intellectual property is not only what have I created, but also what have I not created, you know.
exactly.
So yeah, I think it's a really difficult situation. And
It
also
is.
you don't really want to mess around with the client too much, telling them, hey, you messed up my design, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because they'll get really upset too. They will see that, they will think that you don't like what they did
And then
and
they won't
whatnot.
pay you. They
Yeah.
won't pay you.
Exactly.
But
But
we're
yeah,
yeah,
it's an interesting question, definitely.
absolutely.
And
And
only
it's
4 minutes, guys, until the Daily Creative Challenge
thank you for telling me.
review, just so you know. Okay, well, here.
Um,
But yeah, it's always fun with you. I love your experimental approach.
and yeah, it was a learning curve to learn English. But yeah,
How
yeah,
is
it's amazing.
Spanish in Argentina?
It's whenever I find like a Spanish speaker, like for instance, I don't know, South American, they know instantly that we are from I am from Argentina, because our accent, at least in Buenos Aires, is kind of peculiar. Say people describe it like it was more Italian, I would say.
Interesting.
Because there is a lot of Italian descendancy. So yeah, it's weird. It's also I love it's Spanish from Spain, Spanish like actual Spanish speaking. It's fun to hear those two.
Yeah, totally. I spent some time in Spain as well, and they have a totally different pronunciation. I think it sounds funny once you kind of have Spanish-speaking people around you a lot, and then in Spain it sounds so different. It's interesting.
It does.
Oh yeah. By the way, it is STEM. So Kyle and Vuduval, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is a STEM. Yeah.
Saviors.
Cool. And only 1 minute and 20 something seconds for us to do the reviews.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see what you guys are what you guys have been doing and working on. Awesome. Mechi, and you are totally into anime as well, right?
I am
As I know.
very into anime. Yeah, I have watched it since I was young, and then I never stopped watching it actually. So yeah, I love it. I am mostly watching that, to be honest, and it inspires a lot of my my illustrations. Like I do vector illustrations, but I enjoy the most doing anime inspires illustrations.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Well, let's drop a little fruit here, and I think that will be time to do the creative challenge, right?
Yeah, we only have 15 seconds left.
Oh, okay, perfect. I will.
Yeah. Vuduval was saying too, people tend to respect the files more when they paid a lot of money to have them. 3, it's extra product, so it costs extra money.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a true. That's true. It can take time for me to set up the file to use by someone who is not a designer. Yeah,
Exactly.
totally.
That is actually a really fair point, because
Yeah,
you cannot always assume that there will be a designer actually like touching your files.
yeah. Awesome. All right. So, guys, it's time for some design feedback on your daily creative challenges in Adobe Illustrator. I'm really, really excited to see and Meche, have you give some feedback. So, guys, hopefully you had the chance to submit your daily creative challenges into the Discord channel under the under the challenge hashtag. And right now we're going to be taking a look at that. So, again, if you guys want to participate still and submit those, you can still feel free to do so if you go onto our daily creative challenge page at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And so here are some of the works that we're going to be reviewing. Let's start with, and this is the last one that has been published. So today's challenge is mixing colors. Apply color theory to mix and blend custom colors and gradients to make abstract art. I think that's a really, really cool challenge. And today we've also been talking a lot about color. How to get color inspirations, how to combine colors. So I think this is a really, really cool challenge. I also love those this kind of approach that you took here, Art. Using different stars. I think they might be all movie stars. I can only recognize Marilyn Monroe at the bottom, I think. And I love the way you kind of used the colors to kind of create this effect. It almost could be a really cool poster that I would probably hang somewhere in my house. What do you think, Mechi?
I agree. It's giving me some Warhol vibes, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
really enjoy. I think like all of these together look super interesting and great. Also, if you just pick one of those, for instance, let's say the one that is all purple itself, it's also really interesting. So it would be nice to see all together and then all different, like being their own piece.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting idea actually. I'm also thinking it could be a way there could be a way to kind of show them on top of each other. So let's say you would only take these three and then kind of overlay them in Photoshop and create some kind of GIF where the colors change. That would be interesting to see as well. But yeah, I love the experimenting here. I love the different transparencies you chose. It looks really, really exciting and a little bit dramatic once, kind of this brush stroke touches the eye here. It looks really dramatic. And here, really, literally, just one eye is open to see, so it kind of covers a part of the face. So I think you did a great job also experimenting with different colors, because I see at the bottom you have more earthy tones. Here you have more of the poppy tones at the top. So that's also really, really exciting. I think you did a great job, and I think you totally. Oh yeah, Art is also saying gone the Warhol route with mixing colors. Yeah, totally. You did a really great job. We recognize it without even reading the captions. So you nailed it, I would say. Cool. All right. JD here with day 2 colors. I played around with the colors. Eventually, I created a metallic style color.
Oh, gradients.
Yeah, gradients are always a really interesting thing to play with. I'm thinking you did a great job. I'm just thinking about these spots where basically the colors all come together. Maybe if you can just like move them around a little bit so it's kind of like a smooth transition. Also, you can use darker and lighter shades of a color to create depth, right? So let's say you want it to look three-dimensional. Make sure to look at objects and see where kind of the light comes from and the light and the shade builds up, so that you have this understanding of how to use this technique to kind of create some three-dimensional effects. But I think you did a great job. It looks really, really interesting. I'm wondering if there's a way to kind of create a little bit more contrast around this area here, because I feel like the background kind of builds up this pretty dark brown here, and it's a little bit interferes with the purple. So maybe if you can keep the background a little bit lighter on this spot, and go a little bit darker where the actual lighter color is coming up in the purple, that you create kind of this contrast to be able to see what's happening in the C and the D. Meche, what do you think?
I was actually going to mention the contrast. To me, it's a little bit lost in, I think it's a C, right? At the end of this, yeah, exactly. So maybe you can do that with the shadow in the background, or yeah, or just pumping up a little bit the purple, but it's a great exploration. Like the little gradients that are like going this way, it gives me the vibe of like a bike or something like it's going on. Yeah, it's super cool, and no strokes. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting experiment to do.
Very cool. Yeah, great job, JD. The next one up is a Van Damme. And I already see this really, really cool kind of composition using, two-dimensional shapes and then kind of creating this depth with color. So I think you did a really great job here, kind of connecting these two pieces through this gradient. I think it looks really, really amazing. I can totally see the dimensionality in this. And also the background came in really handy to even pick it up a little bit more and to create some contrast around this area, which is basically the most important area where you kind of want to tell the story of the person going up the hill, right? So I think you did a really great job kind of making that visible with the gradients in the background. And also this lighter color coming from here looks very natural. It almost looks like some kind of sun ray hitting the the mountains. And yeah, I think it totally looks very, very natural and very, three-dimensional. You did a great job here.
Yeah.
And 11 years old. My God.
Really?
Look, Van Damme designer, 11 years old. Yeah,
Damn. Wow.
I think Van Damme, you're onto a really, really great start. And the earlier you start designing, the better you will get. So by your 20s, you will be a pro. So keep it up. And I see a very bright future here.
Me too. Definitely.
Meche, do you have any feedback?
I like the tension that the piece is like the tension that there is very well calibrated in here and here, and he's in the middle point of the square, and the tensions are just working great. And this could be an amazing album cover for a musician.
Yes, so, totally. Yeah.
Good job there.
Awesome. Van Damme, hopefully you'll post it somewhere online so people get to see your work. I think that would be a great thing to show off here. It looks really, really great. You did a great job, Van Damme. Awesome. And next one up here is Avela Alexis. And we have here mixing colors, apply color theory to mix and blend custom colors and gradients to make abstract art. This already almost kind of reminds me of a composition I would use maybe for a website or an application. So it does look as if you are kind of into UX design, maybe creating illustrations for UX design. And you did a really amazing job. I love the color palette here, and you're very successfully applying the color palette all across the board here, and mixing the colors up in a really, really interesting way. And also I love the way you kind of organize your shapes to transition into each other, right? And to connect with each other visually. So I think you did a great job. It's a very balanced illustration. One of the spots that I'm kind of seeing is maybe this one. So maybe here I would work a little bit on the hues and make sure that it's not overwhelming compared to all the other circles, because if you look here, it's all one tone, and then this one has a lot of different tones. So maybe I'll reduce a little bit on the yellow here, or maybe I'll reduce a little bit on the purple. Just select one of those, I would say. Otherwise, I think it looks really amazing. And I also love the way you kind of created this, this header and little description. So yeah, I think you did a great job. What do you think, Meche?
Yeah, it's a very dynamic composition, and the colors help to emphasize that. I was literally going to mention the same thing that you mentioned, is that the use of this orange brownish color is just used in 4 places. So maybe you can play a little bit more with that color specifically and try to add into other shapes and see how that makes the composition look like. Other than that, it's yeah, it's pretty dynamic, and it's something that yes, I am very drawn to doing. So
Yeah,
I love it.
awesome. Super cool. Great job, Avela, Alexis. Next one up is Kiki with a little title image for AI Daily Creative Challenge. I'm assuming that's something you would use on Behance, kind of like as a header image. I think I love the background. I love the color that you picked. I would maybe almost take this, this, how do you call it, the square pattern, and pull it out to the ends of the page, or maybe just arrange it so that the layout is kind of the distance here is the same as at the top, so it's nice and centered. And then here I'm also noticing something in the typeface, that here in Creative the letters are pretty far apart, so the kerning is a little bit larger than here in Challenge. I understand you were trying to kind of push these things into a box. Maybe you can do it by kind of aligning the words on the left side and filling up the space with some elements that kind of the imbalanced word lengths create. So that could be another way to do so, instead of adjusting the kerning. Otherwise, I love this little element that you have added at the top. I will maybe give a little bit more breathing room inside the rectangle for the text. And maybe I would select maybe like a bolder typeface for the date, because it's a pretty important information. And so that you kind of create a hierarchy, so that you don't use the same hierarchy as the Daily Creative Challenge title, right? So either make it a little bit smaller or a little bit more bolder. Yeah, Mechi, what do you think?
I love the play with the two K's and the eyes to say Kiki, and they look like people, so
Yeah.
that's great. I will say if you use a grid that is this prominent, I will try to snap all my elements to that grid, because as you see in the little square that has type in it, the lines of the grid are kind of generating some unnecessary noise. So a quick fix is just align that box with type to the actual grid, and do the same with the case. And I will probably open a little bit the gap between the case, because it's really thin, and depending on how big this is, it could appear or not. Just thinking if you are printing this, but no, I think it's very, very creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also love the color palette. I love this combination of these more subtle tones with this bright orange. Yeah, I think you did a great job. Hopefully we can see some update later on, Kiki. So if you want to, edit it and tag us, feel free to do so. Cool. And then we have Jay Lewis here with this little okay, let's read the caption. Could not put it away, thinking it's a better direction. Jack, what about you? Okay, so I'm thinking those are supposed to kind of show letters. What I'm reading is LJ. So maybe it's a variation of a logo. Yeah, and it makes sense because it's J Lewis, so it's probably J Lewis as as a logo or something. So I think you did a great job here. I'll maybe try a variation where the J is actually round, so kind of like a half circle going around. I think it looks really, really interesting. I love the colors that you have used here. Maybe kind of pulling the L and the J apart a little bit so that it gets a little bit more noticeable that those are two letters. Just decreasing this gap a little bit, increasing the gap a little bit so that they don't melt together too much, just like we saw in the last in the last artwork. Cool. Mechi, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yes, you're just saying all the right things. I will pull them apart a little bit so the L can be seen, and maybe just aiming to do instead of a rectangle, more like a square composition with these two letters, and they will be more recognizable. But I think it's a nice and a creative way of playing with two letters. So yeah, great job.
Awesome. Yeah, Jay Lewis, great job. Okay, I would say let's do a last one so you get a couple minutes to kind of sum up what you have done today. Okay, this one is by Barrier, and it's a daily creative challenge project. I love this animation that you did here, this kind of GIF effect. I love the colors that you chose. I love this color palette. I think you did a really, really amazing job here. You have several, you have one yellow tone, two green tones, one purple, one pink, one red. Although they are so different, they kind of totally work together because they're kind of connected through these shapes, and it's just, I think you did a really great job. I would like to know what a little bit more about the connection here, like what's the background, because it does look like a logo for Toko Shop that's been basically shown in different lookups, right? So this is just a word mark. This is basically like an emblem, and here's a combination. So yeah, it will be interesting to know what exactly that's for. But otherwise, I think the typeface and the symbol that you created are super amazing. I'm really loving this. And I also love that you have put in the effort to actually create something interactive, something cool out of that. So yeah, I would say clap for that.
Yeah,
Mechi, what do you think?
so it's pretty cool. Like I can see this. I don't know what kind of the shop it is, but I see this being like a branding for a sushi restaurant or something like that. Just because Toko always reminds me of Tokyo, and the flower, it kind of reminds me of cherry blossom petal. So, but it's so nice. It's really cool. Like it's a strong. I would like to see more of this
Yeah.
branding and where it goes. But no, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think if you guys want to check it out, it's, oh yeah, look, there is a little bit more. But we're looking forward to see a little bit more here about the background. It's by Jair Sebastian. So Jair, it would be good to know more about what Toko Shop is. Is it really a sushi place, or yeah, would love to have a little bit more background information. All right, Mechi, thanks everyone for submitting your daily creative challenges. We're going to jump into Mechi's screen for a couple of seconds, just because we want to see what, to kind of sum things up, and to maybe do some final edits. And yeah, so that Mechi can tell you a little bit more about what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Yes. So right now I'm gonna finish this spread fast. Oof, the contrast here is no good. I think that's better. Okay, so just summing up a little bit what we did today. We started with a mood board, which is a great place of starting and kind of organizing your ideas. And then it's nice to start playing with a color palette, and maybe this was a food festival, but it could be whatever you want it to be. Having a logo also kind of defines the personality of it, so maybe it also helps you to narrow some decisions. Have fun with the typeface and make sure that you choose consistent styles, but this is always really up to you. What I would really recommend, and what we did today, was creating a little wireframe skeleton, call it how you want, but it's just a little way of seeing really fast what the brochure magazine is going to be like. It's nice to use it to see rhythms of the whole magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you know what I sometimes do when I'm thinking of the content, also what you can do is you can make yourself a tiny mock-up, a tiny prototype basically out of that. So you can cut little pieces of paper, fold it together, and then you will be able to see what's page 1, what's page 10, and so on. Just write the little page numbers on it and then take some notes. So that can also be really helpful to kind of understand what's actually the backside of something, and so on.
Absolutely, yes. Having things in real life and being tangible, it changed your way of approaching design. So if that helps you, it's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
We designing, we like taking into account all of these things. We designed a little cover, and we started designing. We're keeping it really simple with illustrations and focus more on type and the information being clear. So yeah, we just put 3 pages together, and hopefully in these 10 minutes I can go a little bit further with this one. But for tomorrow, what we're gonna do is following our little map that we talked in the beginning. We are gonna be doing another spread, which is going to be pretty similar to what we're doing right now. So there won't be a lot of exploration there, but I'm really looking forward to doing a poster like double spread. We are going to focus on interview, and then I'm gonna walk you through how to prepare files for print. And if you have a printer,
that's really important. Really important.
Yeah, I can also show how to use Pantone colors and how to apply them in your file so the printer knows where they're going. Tomorrow will be a little bit of design and a little bit of technical things, but they are useful. And if you have a printer at your home, I can also show you how to create a booklet and create maybe some mockups if we have time, because time flies when you are streaming. And
yeah, and talking about time, we only have 4 minutes left.
It's insane.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to come up with tomorrow.
Me
but
too.
Yeah, let's continue for a couple more minutes before we say bye-bye. And let us know in the chat, guys. This is your last minute question chance, so shoot if you have any additional questions to Meche. And yeah, so cool. I'm really loving how you are following the color palette so precisely, and it's so well fitted to what you're doing. It's awesome.
I think thank you. I just think that the basic colors are so novel, and they are really easy. They're very easy to work with. So this can definitely change, but I think they are just amazing. So
yeah,
if you are stuck,
yeah, I also love this typeface. It's so cool.
It's so weird. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's like a tropical smoothie section where we are gonna have some recipes, or a recipe for a smoothie, or a shake, or whatever you want it to be.
Anthony's saying, I love the type and the colors. I'm inspired. Yeah, and me too.
Oh, yay.
I love this typeface. I'm actually curious to see what other typefaces one can find on fonts.adobe.com. I think there are some really cool ones, and I think there are like always new ones coming in, so it's always worth checking out, especially those they have like font packs, so where you have a couple typefaces together that look really, really good together. So I always love checking those out as well.
Yeah, it's since this I don't think I have much time, but
that's fine. We can continue tomorrow. But yes. I love what you're doing. So you kind of cutting off a piece of the word?
Yes, because since this typeface is not super legible, I know my mother will have problems reading this. Let's use it as a image, type as image, and then let's put this what we want to say in another typeface.
That's an interesting way to approaching that. That's cool. Awesome. Kinoti is saying, good evening, I came in late. Good evening, Kinoti. You seem to be on the other part of the world. Cool, because here is still afternoon, right? You seem to be a little bit further away, maybe around New York. Cool. Came in late, no worries. There is a replay, so you can still watch the replay.
Yes. So no
guys,
worries.
while we are talking about replays, maybe we can jump into our schedule real quick and take a look what is to follow after this stream. So we have a lot of other streams coming in today, as well as the Daily Creative Challenge in XD, which is coming up with Andrea Epi. And then we have Kyle Webster with Draw Along. Super, super fun. Kyle is a super fun guy, and it's always fun watching him, draw something. And then we have Voodoo Val, who is here in the chat, and Anna Davis Court with the design off. Those are always really fun to watch as well. And also the Daily Creative Challenges in XD, guys. So if you are, not even a UX, UI person, you can still check those out, because having additional services that you can offer your clients, having an additional skill set, being able to create a website or create an application, is always really, really helpful. So yeah, that's for today. And Meche, we're going to continue tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what you're going to come up. I think you did a really, really great job today, and you already came so far. I mean, you have designed probably like 5 pages or something, right? Or 6 pages?
Let's say 4.
Okay. But it all looks really, really amazing, really cohesive, and I'm really, really excited for tomorrow. So let's sum up real quick. Tomorrow, what is the plan?
Tomorrow we are gonna finish designing this page, and we're gonna design an interview. That's what I'm mostly focusing on design-wise, other than doing more illustrations, and then all the technical stuff, which means preparing your file for prints and adding spot colors to your piece and those stuff that is important to know.
I'm so excited. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat, and come back tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Julia Masalska. This is Meche Bazan. And make sure to follow us on Instagram if you haven't yet. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.